Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks so much for joining me. My name is Britt, and here on my channel I love to share vlogging, home decor updates, home decor projects, our salsa garden, anything that basically has to do with lifestyle, home decor, hauls, that type of thing. That's my jam. That's what I love to share with you guys. For today's video, we are going to kind of do like a garden update, little tour, and just kind of give like a recap on where we are for this year's salsa garden. So grab a drink. I made my favorite drink here. You'll see, I'm going to share with you how I made this drink. Super simple, 2 ingredients, and it's super yummy. So grab a drink and let's hang out. I'm going to talk about what happened with this year's garden and where I guess I see myself next year. So one thing that I really did this year was I did a ton of research, and one of my favorite books, this was actually given to me from a friend, and it was such a thoughtful gift. I love it. It's this little book and it's called Grow Green. I'm sure you can purchase it anywhere, Amazon, Target, different things like that. This little book is packed with so much information. It's got, let me see if I can kind of give you just a little bit of an overview of, it talks about, hopefully you can see that, there's no glare. It talks about your essential equipment and suggestions on what you should have. Talks about how to cut your flowers. What else is in here? It talks about different pests and diseases that could be in your garden or your flower garden. It talks about different fruits that you can grow. It talks about potatoes that you can grow, all kinds of things. So this book was so awesome. I loved having this little book. I learned a ton of things out of it. Last year I started with the green stalk, and that was amazing. I loved it so much. I used it again this year. Honestly, I'll probably continue to use it for the rest of my life because it is the most easy, convenient little thing ever. It's perfect for somebody that is just starting out. It's perfect for somebody that has a small space but wants to garden and grow their own food, or like have tons of flowers but maybe you don't have room for like a bunch of different pots. You can put flowers in it. Pick your color. You can pick, do you want it to be on a rotating base? Do you want it to stand still? Like, so many options. Their website is amazing. I'll link it down below for you guys. So that's what I started with last year. And last year I just got a bunch of different starts, and I went to one of our local greenhouses and I picked out all of the items that I wanted, and that's how I went about it. Fast forward to year 2 this year. I decided to do the same thing, but this year I kind of wanted to expand a little bit. 2 planter boxes, like decent sized planter boxes that were on legs from Amazon, and I loved them. Super easy to put together, and they're actually pretty spacious. So I included those this year as well. This year I thought I'm going to start my stuff by seed, because last year I had been told that our growing season was a little weird. Well, this year our growing season was definitely weird compared to last year. And so I'm new here. So I'm so happy that I started some by seed this year. I actually did majority of my stuff by seed. And from what I've been told from friends and family, I had really good luck starting my stuff from seed. A lot of them were super surprised on how well it did for it being my first year. So I was super excited about that. So this year, as well as doing stuff from seed, I did go to my favorite local nursery and I purchased some stuff from start also. So I'm gonna kind of share with you what I did from seed and then what I did from start. I typically do, and I say this lightly because this is only my 2nd year, I love having fresh salsa. So for me, I basically just did a salsa garden. This year I did include a couple that obviously aren't necessarily salsa related, but for the most part everything was salsa related. I did poblano peppers from seed. I did early girl tomatoes from seed. Those are the larger tomatoes. I did serrano chili peppers from seed. I did jalapeno peppers from seed. I did onions from seed. I did bell peppers from seed. And I did cherry tomatoes from seed. Starts, I added in some cherry tomatoes. I also added in some Roma tomatoes. And then I did corn. I did a sugar baby watermelon. And I did some strawberries. For the seeds in my area, and I don't know if this is true for every area, like I said, again, I'm very new to this, but for my area, I was told and researched to start your seeds on March 1st. So I'd have to look back and see what the actual dates were, but I started them that first weekend of March. Just got a little seed starting kit from Lowe's. I followed the directions and just put all my seeds in there that I was supposed to, and I labeled them, and that was so much fun to watch them come in. It was crazy. They took off so stinking fast. I was super excited. So the reason why I did some from seed and some from start was, so last year I just did starts for everything. I did nothing seed related. And I felt like it took a really long time for those items to produce. And granted, people were telling me like, oh, that's kind of normal with the season we've had, this, that, and the other. So I just had told myself, you know what, this next year I'm gonna do seed and I'm gonna do start, so that I could essentially have maybe two. I thought I could like time it differently, so I'd have some from seed that were ready and then my stuff from start that would be ready after. But because this year was so crazy, it actually kind of all came together at the same time. So when I take you out there and give you a little tour, you'll see that there's still tons of stuff that's ripening, so I'm super excited about that. For next year, I think what I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna do some from seed as well, but I'm not gonna do as much. I had done so many from seed and I was so excited and I was very ambitious, and it got really challenging at the end when it was time to like put them out, but our weather wasn't ready yet. I just had too much. I mean, it was taking over my entire dining room table and dining room, and it got to be a lot, and by the end I was kind of over it, which kind of made me sad, and I don't want to feel like that this next year. And hopefully this next year growing season will be totally different, but I'll still do some from seed. I'm just not gonna do nearly as much as I did. I mean, I went overboard. So lesson learned, not doing that next year. Definitely will probably do all of the same stuff. Now the corn isn't ready yet and the sugar baby watermelon isn't ready yet. So those, I might take them or leave them next year, not sure. But everything else, all of the tomatoes, the peppers, all of that, they've done so well. So I'll definitely do all of that next year. My onion, I don't know what happened to my onions. Nothing has come from those, so I would definitely really like to try that again next year. I would also like to have a better area set up for where I'm going to set my garden boxes and put up like some sort of nice perimeter area for the deer, because as things started growing, I didn't have a secured area, and the deer kind of took a couple of things out of the garden. So I had to kind of do this makeshift little wire tower type thing. It's not cute by any means, but it worked. So that's something I need to figure out as well. And then another thing is, I don't think I'm going to put as much stuff in those 2 garden boxes as I had this year. I mean, I packed them. Don't get me wrong, there's still enough room. Everything's growing so well, or has grown so well, but it's just a little overwhelming when you go to like pick the stuff out. With the garden tour and the garden update, I really enjoyed this year's growing season. I learned so many things that I'm going to change for next year. I am kind of wanting to grab another green stalk. You guys seriously have to check out the green stalks. They're amazing. And maybe kind of divide some stuff through the two of them and then do my 2 planter boxes as well, or possibly keep the 1 green stalk and add 2 more planter boxes, so I'd have a total of 4. That I'm a little bit indecisive on, trying to figure out what I want to do, but I have plenty of time to figure it out. And then also here in the next couple months, I'll try and figure out what I want to do from seed this year and what I want to do from start. So I'm super impressed that I've been able to keep it all alive, just with my work schedule and things like that. Life is a little hectic, always on the go. And then I didn't really have any issues with like birds or pests or diseases. Like, I was super happy with how all of my stuff came out. Moving forward for next year, I need to decide, am I going to add another green stalk or am I going to add 2 more garden boxes? Indecisive there, trying to figure out what's going to work best. I need to figure out like a perimeter area to keep those garden boxes safe from deer, because those were the only things I had issues with. And then I need to figure out what am I going to plant from seed and what am I going to plant from start. This year is definitely kind of starting to wrap up slowly where I'm at, and so I won't be planting like a fall harvest or anything like that. You definitely could where I live, but that's just not something that I am wanting to take on at this time. So for me, my summer garden is slowly starting to come to an end. That's why I thought it'd be a great time to film this video. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today and letting me share with you my garden update. I will leave links below for you guys. I'll try and find a link for that book. I'll leave a link for the green stalks below, because the green stalks are seriously amazing. I'm obsessed with it. I have nothing but amazing things to say about it. I'm so happy with it, and it's a great place to start if you're a beginner, or like I said, if you don't have a ton of room. And then as we kind of go on throughout the year and we get closer to starting seeds and stuff for next year, I'll definitely give another video update on kind of what my approach is going to be, and share with you what I'm going to tackle next year. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and drop any questions or comments down below. I would love to know what types of things you plant in your garden. I am wanting to expand, but I'm just starting small, so the more I get into it, I would love to add more items into it. So any suggestions would be amazing. And go ahead and give me a follow on all my socials. And I hope that you guys have a great day, and thanks so much for hanging out with me.